What does it mean incompatible? As I said in the previous lesson or lesson 1, incompatible, it means of two things that cannot exist because of their differences. It cannot functions as it was targeted. Now let's talk about the forms of levels conflict. We have there 5 types of conflict. Number 1 is called intrapersonal conflict. In intrapersonal conflict with an individual, a conflict with an individual often involves some forms of goals conflict or cognitive conflict which occurs within an individual. We said in the first lesson that cognitive conflict is a situation in which ideas or opinion are varying. Now that was number 1, intrapersonal conflict. The second form, number 1, intrapersonal conflict. Number 2 is interpersonal between individuals. Intrapersonal is within an individual. Now, interpersonal is between individuals. Involve 2 students, example, or 2 managers are competing for the same promotion. There we talk about interpersonal conflict between people, between managers, between students who are competing for a given promotion. Number 2 is intra-group conflict. With the intra-group conflict is like intra conflict. Here is within a group experiencing intra-group conflict may eventually allowing the group to reach a consensus, or the group may not resolve the conflict and the group discussions may end in disagreement. In intra-group conflict, the conflict is within the group. Then the group is failing to solve out their problems. At that time, we talk about a form of conflict called intra-group. Within a group, but the people in the group, they are disagreeing themselves. Yes, form number 4 is intergroup conflict. As I said, interpersonal conflict is between individual, involves 2. Okay, now intergroup conflict between groups. If there is not the harmonious relationship among all interdependent group, here there is no success. You cannot succeed while there is no agreement in intergroup. So if you want to succeed, you should have a time to sit down within a group and solve your problems amicably or friendly. The idea is to study the group behaviors. Yes, the idea of intergroup is to study the group behaviors. How does people behave themselves within an organization, within a church, so that any conflict can be recognized and be dealt with by management. So know how to deal with the management of a group. The 5th form is intra-organizational conflict. This one also is within the organization, not outside the organization. This refers to conflict between organization, between employees, and between these department and so on. Let's talk about conflict management. managing conflict. How should we manage conflict? Expert in various situations where the conflict can lead to competition. Yes, conflict can lead to competition and a creativity, so that in such situation of managing conflict, such situation, the conflict can be encouraged in all other cases where conflict is destructive in nature. It should be resolved as soon after it has developed, but all effort should be made to prevent it from developing. So here when the people in managing a conflict, when this lead to competition and creativity, that can be encouraged, because we are just making a competition to go beyond some group's expectation. Then we can encourage this kind of conflict, because it leads to entrepreneurship. But if it's in the wrong way, then we should stop this kind of conflict immediately. Thank you very much for following. Welcome to lesson 3 of conflict management.